Hello again. This is Harriet Chandler, the Senator for the 1st Worcester District, and this is Beacon Hill Chat, the show that brings you interesting people to talk about some of the interesting things going on here in our district and in the city of Worcester. And today I think we have a little precious treasure for you that I hope you'll find as interesting as I do. We have Karen Langley with us, who is the CEO, is that the correct title? The CEO of Re-Equipment. And you have a treat in store to learn what Re-Equipment does in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you for inviting us.
We're so delighted. I've been taken by Re-Equipment for some time, as you know.
I do.
And I can't say enough about it, but I'm not going to do the talking about it this time. You are. So tell us what Re-Equipment means. What does it do? It's not a part of the government. It's something else. What is it?
Yeah, it's a collaboration of a number of entities. And what we did was we came together and identified a solution to a need. And the need was, what do we do about people who need durable medical equipment, like wheelchairs and portable ramps and shower chairs? What do we do when their insurance won't cover something? And I was working at state government at the time. Lots of us were kind of troubled by that. Mm-hmm. And so we looked to the people on the national level, and they had these what's called reuse programs. And so we said, let's see if that would be something that would make sense in Massachusetts. And so 5 years ago, we piloted it in Boston. And then over the years, we've gotten various support from state agencies and the legislature to take this program statewide. So what do we do?
What do you do?
What do we do? So there's lots of people who have medical equipment that they don't need anymore. Mm-hmm. So what happens? It goes in the garage.
What is medical equipment to you?
So
define it for people.
Yeah, so it could be a power or a manual wheelchair. It could be a scooter. Sometimes it's a tub seat or a shower chair.
And these are expensive, aren't they?
The power chairs can be very expensive.
Yeah.
They can be up to $45,000.
Really?
The manual chairs, if it's just a simple chair, it could be a couple hundred. If it's more customized, it could be several $1,000s. So there's a number of things. We do a lot of things with children. So children, it could be the adapted stroller that maybe they're not even at an age to use a wheelchair. And those adapted strollers, they're $1,400. Wow. And the child is growing, and so they need to keep buying a new stroller. So we have the adapted strollers and things like that for children. And a whole range of medical equipment.
So Karen, I'm listening to this watching this on television, and I'm saying, but I don't want somebody's old used equipment. They have germs on it. No, mm-hmm. I don't want that. They're a mess. What's your answer to that?
Well, two things. Not all the equipment is old or used.
Some of it's very new.
Some of it's brand new. I mean, we've had places that have donated wheelchairs that were a part of an employee activity where they've put together wheelchairs. And they were brand new, and we got 20 of those.
Really?
So we checked them over to make sure they were put together correctly, and we still sanitized them. We checked them out, we sanitized them before we would put them on our inventory. But even if it is something that's a little bit older, we check it all the time. We check that, all the parts are still working. We don't take things that have stains, tears, rust. Everything goes through what we call a hub scrub. So it's a big wash machine.
I've seen that, and it's incredible.
And it's made for equipment other than anything that's electric.
And it sterilizes
it. Sterilizes it. It washes it several times. So we do a pre-wash by hand. We stick it in our hub scrub. We sanitize that, and when it comes back out, we look it over to see if there's anything that the hub scrub missed. So it really gets cleaned 3 times before it gets out onto...
So it is clean. It is like an almost new
in terms
appliance.
Of the cleanliness.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might say, well, the upholstery might not be as bright as it was the first day, but it's usable. And we do, when we put it on our inventory, we always have pictures of the devices so that people can get a sense of what does it look like. And we always try to make sure we tell what condition. Is it brand new? Is it like new? Is it in good condition? We try not to post anything that's less than good. But those things are always important. We're getting equipment. We don't know if the person has just come out of the hospital where there might be MRSA or other bacteria. So we always tell our drivers and our pickup folks, wear your gloves, use universal precautions.
That's when it comes into
When it comes into us. And even while we're working on it, we're very cautious about that. And then make sure, as I said, it's clean before it goes out to the person themselves.
And I've been to your I think of it as a storage area in Worcester, a shop in Worcester, and it is remarkable because when they come out, they look pretty
good,
much like brand new.
Yeah. So we have 4 locations where the equipment gets brought into, and they do the evaluation and the cleaning. And if they need, if it's a power wheelchair, we always put brand new batteries in because we don't know how long the batteries are in that chair. And we don't want the person to have to pay for batteries because if you buy batteries,
Are they expensive?
$135 each, and they all need 2.
Wow.
So most people low income.
So you basically provide them with the equipment plus the batteries if they use the battery, which is expensive.
And it's expensive, yeah. So our 4 sites, we have a relationship with the Pappas Rehab Hospital in Canton. So they have a site that works there.
And of course, Dr. Pappas came from Worcester.
Oh,
came
he did?
from Auburn. Oh, yes. Dr. Pappas is one of these icons in the greater Worcester area. He was an orthopedic surgeon, and he was a part owner, I believe, of the Red Sox.
Right.
So
they've been with us since the very beginning.
Have they really?
They have been. And then, excuse me, here right in Worcester, the Department of Developmental Services works with us as a partner. They do the highest volume of all of what we do across the state.
We are the second largest city in New England, not just Massachusetts, but in New England.
Yes.
And we have a lot of need here.
And you can tell by the number of requests that we get from this area. And then we have 2 partners that are in Western Mass. One is the Stavros Center for Independent Living, and they have a site both in Amherst and a little side site that's down in Springfield. And then the 4th one is out in Pittsfield with United Cerebral Palsy. So those 4 are the places where the equipment comes into, gets looked at, cleaned, serviced, and then stored there until somebody needs it. And so if somebody needs it and they've gone onto the website and they've requested it, then we're at our administrative office, we'll be saying, okay, now let's work out how Mrs. Jones is going to get this piece of equipment. Does she want to come pick it up? Or does she need to have it delivered? And then we set up the delivery.
You do that too?
We do that too.
So here I am watching you in Worcester. How do I have a loved one who had a wheelchair or any one of the many pieces of equipment somebody could have, and it's in pretty good shape. I don't need it. I don't have any more room. My loved one no longer is alive, and I don't want to keep it because it serves no purpose for me. How do I get it to you? Where do I find you? How do I get in touch with you?
Well, there's a couple of different ways.
Okay.
We do have a website, which is at www.dmereuse.org, dmereuse.org. And on our website, we have both the inventory of all the things that we have ready to go, and we also have a way for somebody to donate it. So they can give us information right online, sends us an email. And so our man that you met yesterday, Dan
the
Perkins,
donation king.
Yeah, he's our donation coordinator. Dan will get the email, he'll look at it, he'll contact that person. And particularly in the case of a power wheelchair, we might ask the person to send us some pictures. We really want to get a sense of what it looks like. Sometimes people will say, it hasn't been used much, but it hasn't been used in 10 years.
Oh.
So
it's old.
It's old, and maybe it's been in the garage and has some rust and some mold. That might not be the chair that we want to accept. But most of the time when we have this back and forth, the individual will say, this is what we have, and we'll say, yes, that's something that we would really like to accept as a donation.
So stop. Give us that website
Okay.
location again so that we can.
Right. So it's
This is for donations.
It's
now.
for donations. www.dmereuse.org, or they can email us for more information. info@dmereuse.org. And I'll give the phone number, which I
Please
always
do.
have to check.
Please do.
Our toll-free number is 1-800-261-9841.
Just repeat that again.
Yes, our toll-free number is 1-800-261-9841. And as I said, once we get that request and we discuss it with them, then we do the same thing, which is, would you like to drop it off? We do have some new donation sites where we have around the state. So if somebody can't get to those 4 locations, we have some new donation sites. So we have one that's down in New Bedford now. We have one in Salem. We have one in Dorchester, and we'll be looking with some new money that's coming in this fiscal year. We'll be doing one out on the Cape. We'll be doing one out near kind of Lowell, Northeast area.
Okay.
And then one on the Southeast region. And we have some other people that, even though they might not want to be a full-fledged donation site, some councils on aging have contacted us and want to do some partnerships with us as well.
Well, is there anything like you in Massachusetts, really, where you can get this equipment?
There's some very local places, and we partner with all of them.
Okay.
So, for instance, down on the South Shore, down in Scituate, there's a place called Scituate Etrusco. They've been doing reuse since 1956, but only for like 4 or 5, well, maybe a little bit more, 10 cities and towns. They don't post everything on the website. They tell you the categories. So you have to go there and you have to look at it. And they don't do delivery. Same thing is the Masons have a hospital equipment loan program out of Woburn.
Really?
You can go there on a Saturday between 9 and 12, look at their stuff, and you can take it. Neither of those do power wheelchairs or scooters. We're pretty much the only one doing that right now. There's one that also operates on the Cape just for kids. It was a dad who had a child who had a need, and so he started working with all these other parents. Now his child is no longer a child; she's in her probably 30s, but he still continues to do it, and he does like the 128 belt. Then there's some other little groups around the state that, again, none of them have a website, none of them have a statewide presence. They all don't have the cleaning capability that we have. Nor the budget to pay for the batteries.
I mean, you are the most remarkable facility I've ever seen. To be honest with you, it's really quite it's quite an accomplishment. So now you have these appliances, devices, and what about somebody who wants the device, who needs the device, and has just learned maybe through this television program about how they can get one? How would you advise them? What do they do next?
We have people who come to us through lots of different sources, but again, it all ties back to the website and the inventories there, because once they see that piece of equipment, they can request it, and there's a little intake form that we take some information off. But we have people that maybe they're a senior who's at home and their home health aide or the visiting nurse comes in. Well, they usually come in with an iPad or something, and they're assessing the home. What does this person need to be more independent? So let's say they go into the bathroom and find, gee, you'd be a little safer if you had a tub seat here, rather than getting way down into the tub or standing here and you might have a little bit of a problem. So they'll go right online while they're still there with the person and say, here's what we're thinking of. Let me do the measurements in the tub. See if this, because all of them will have measurements too. And if the person says, yes, that's what I want, together they can fill out that intake form, and that request will come to us within like 10 minutes. Now, once we get it, our staff person who is an assignment coordinator, and unfortunately the position is unfilled right now, but we have our trustee program director is filling in, Jen Baker. She'll look at that request, and if there's no questions on it, she'll send out paperwork, and there's really only one major piece of paperwork, which is a liability form, which is
And that's it?
basically we don't ask for insurance information, we don't ask for doctor's letter. We just, if they're telling us they have a need,
You trust them?
we trust them, and we work with them on just this liability piece.
And tell us about the liability.
So the liability is basically asking them to agree to, they're not going to sell this piece of it. They understand that we can't repair it. You know, it's as is, because that's how we got it, as is, and we have no warranties or other things
But
on it.
many of your things you rehab to the point that they are usable.
Oh, absolutely. We wouldn't send it up
Yeah.
if it wasn't usable. We also want to make sure that they're not going to sue us.
That's the liability issue.
So if something happens, let's say they fall using it. And so
That's
we've never
really
had,
all you care about then.
well, that's the most
Yeah.
important things. We have had one or two people who have tried to sell something, but for the most part, people are pretty honest.
Yeah.
They sign that. Once that comes back to us, then we give the okay. So we will then tell them, okay, that piece of equipment you wanted, that tub seat, we're assigning it to you. We're going to tell the place where it's located now to work with you on how to get it. And right now, we do have, for people who are need us to deliver it, we have a pretty long waiting list. And that's what we're trying to do when
How
we get
long is a long waiting list?
over a month.
It is that long.
Yeah, we're waiting to bring in some, we've had part-time drivers like 7 hours a week.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
That's not a lot, 1 day a week. So we're, in our Pappas location, we're going to have a full-time person there. So that both the donations and those
So do
equipment
they
can go
pay
up.
for the delivery?
There is a $20 delivery charge.
Okay.
Optional.
But that's
Optional.
it's optional.
Optional.
And $20 to deliver a power wheelchair.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, that's incredible.
Yeah. So when we're doing that initial intake, if it's apparent that that person is low income, we don't even talk about it.
Okay.
But there's been lots of people who have heard about it, and even though they're low income, they want to contribute that $20, and they do. And one of the nice things, we didn't always have that delivery fee. We implemented it about a year
Well,
ago.
it was costing you.
Yes, it cost us a lot of money to bring people
Yeah.
in and out. And since that, one of the side benefits has been when somebody's writing a $20 check, sometimes they write a $50 check
And give you a donation.
and give us a donation, which has been a lovely benefit for us
That's
to make
wonderful.
it possible for us to buy more batteries.
That is
Yeah,
wonderful.
so that's been a great thing for us to be able to have. That little bit of cash on the side to
Yeah.
help with the van insurance or the gas
Sure.
or even more batteries.
That is incredible. So tell us, you must have lots of stories
Oh, we got
of what a difference your appliances make in somebody's life, your adaptive appliances. Tell us some stories about it.
Yeah, so one of that just pops out of my head. I've got 4 or 5 right I'm thinking of, but one that pops out of my head was the daughter of a woman who had terminal cancer. She was still at home. She was getting hospice, but they knew it wasn't going to be long.
This is the woman who had terminal cancer.
Yes, she had terminal cancer, but the daughter was the one who contacted
Okay.
us. And what she was saying is, at that point, her mother was really too weak to push a manual wheelchair, but she still wanted to be able to get around her home.
Right.
So she came to us for a power chair, and we were able to get that power chair to her in less than a month. I mean, we knew that this
Right.
was critical. And so she had it for the last 3 weeks of her life, that she had some level of independence.
How
getting around.
wonderful.
And the daughter was so appreciative. I mean, she sent us a lovely note after the woman passed away to tell us about that 3 weeks of her, last 3 weeks of her life, that gave her a sense of independence. And it gets you right here.
Of course it does.
It gets you right here. One of the other ones occurred this past February. And it wasn't somebody in this region, but she was up on the North Shore. And it was a woman who's had a disability all her life. She uses a power chair. And we were between those 2 or 3 snowstorms we had, the really bad hurricanes. But it was in the lull, and she had gone out to dinner with a friend. She's in the restaurant. She goes to turn her chair on, and it's dead. She says, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Well, she can release the battery so it can be pushed. Her friend pushes her home. This is a Sunday night. Monday morning, first thing in the morning, she calls her company who normally does her repairs and says, I have a broken chair. They said, well, unfortunately, we're booked. We can't come out for another probably week and a half. And she says, oh dear, I don't have a backup chair. And she was due to start a brand new job the following Monday. So what am I going to do? I won't have a wheelchair. So she went on our website. She happened to see we had 4 or 5 wheelchairs, power wheelchairs. She looked through them all. She said, this one is the most like what I use now. She contacted us. We called her, went through it, and unfortunately, we were shut down because
The weather?
we couldn't get it out to her, but we said, we'll put it on the next truck as soon as we can get this out. So she ended up having to, unfortunately, rent a chair. Very expensive, didn't fit her, until we got our chair to her. So we got it to her. She called Sunday, Monday. We got it to her the following Wednesday. She started the job. She gave the rental back, and she said she used our chair until her chair could be fixed. But it made the difference in whether this woman could go to work and also whether she could get out of bed, because she didn't have another chair. And so this made, for that a week and a half, 2 weeks, it made a difference in her and being able to kind of live her life.
So are you filled up? At what point are you reaching capacity? Because I think that's, if somebody from the Worcester area hears this program and says, oh my goodness, I need this for a loved one. What do they do?
Right now, we do have equipment on the website. Particularly, our number one request is manual wheelchairs. And
manual
wheelchairs.
Okay.
Both the transport type with the little wheels that somebody pushes you,
Right.
and then
Which
the
is what
other
my
type.
husband uses.
Yeah, and then the other type where somebody can push themselves.
Right.
That's the number one request.
Right.
We have 30 of those on our website right now.
Really, so that they're available.
They're available because one of the wonderful things that occurred last year is we did these donation drives. We got some Reeve Foundation money to do donation drives around the state. It was wonderful. And as a result of that, there was an assisted living facility closing down in Norwood. We got 36 manual wheelchairs from them. And we got some other devices, up to like 50 pieces of equipment. It took us a while to get through and clean all those, but we've got through them all, and they're all on the website. So right now, we have an abundance of manual wheelchairs. So if you need a manual wheelchair,
This is the time.
this is the time to come. Power chairs, we have 2 up there today, and they'll be
That's
gone
it.
by tomorrow because
Really?
they turn around so fast.
But you have a lot of turnaround anyway.
We do.
I mean,
Right
that's-
now, you said our capacity. Right now, because we're waiting for this funding to come in,
Yeah.
we all our foresight are filled. They can't put another piece of equipment in until we can get some equipment out. We've got 3 storage units filled. We're not probably at this point. We're not taking any more power chairs because we have 80 waiting to be picked up. Power chairs. We can get some of the other things in, but power chairs take up a little bit more room, and they take a lot more time to refurbish.
We're close to the end of the program, but Karen, there's one more thing I want to talk about with you, because I want my viewing public to hear this. One of the things you could use are more people who are basically able to do the technical work with getting these chairs ready. That is sort of almost a dying art, and it is an art form.
Right.
And how would you advise people who might be very handy with mechanical things? Because I think that's what they need to have, that kind of an ability with.
Right.
What would you advise them to do?
Well, if somebody can commit some period of time. It's not like something you can come in and just do for the day.
Right. No,
You
I'm
really
talking about...
Yeah, you really need somebody who has commitment to work on this. And I know for our site here in Worcester, they've had students from one of the Worcester schools, the technical schools.
high school, yeah.
They had students in there. They've also had folks, young folks who from Department of, corrections maybe, that were working with children. But even some of the voc tech schools or those kinds of programs that may have somebody who's going into small engine repair or shop.
They would be able to...
We'd love to be able to figure out how to partner with them.
One of the
because
things,
we have lots of equipment that they could practice on.
One of the things I'd like to do is kind of make a marriage between you and one of our facilities. We have a lot of incredible schools in this area, and I'd like to see if we could perhaps develop some sort of a program where people could take a certificate program over a period of maybe 8 weeks, and so that they don't have to, they could still work part-time while they're doing this, or full-time, and maybe do this in the evenings or the late afternoons, or something that allows them to get this done. Because the art that you are encouraging with this program, we need, you have the equipment. Now we have to help you get that equipment out to the people that need it so badly. I think this has been fascinating. I think, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to tell my viewing public?
Yeah. Well, we want to make sure that if you have a particular need, that we try to address it. And so there's times when we get an email through a Facebook or through just our emails where somebody says, I'm a family member, a friend, whatever, we're looking for this. Even if we don't have it, we're going to try to get you to the right place. So I want you to reach out to us, whatever method works for you, the phone call, the email, the Facebook, and talk with us, and we'll try to refer you. You know, we've worked very closely with the local Independent Living Center, which is a center for living and working.
That's how I found you.
With Easter Seals, who runs the Assistive Technology Regional Center that loans out equipment. So we have a partnership with those folks, and we want to make sure you get to the right place.
And I have to say this, and I hope this is not too personal, but you're not just selling the services as the CEO of Re-Equipment. You are the wife of the very recent former commissioner of Mass Rehab, who is handicapped as well. So you are doubly familiar with this. And this is a vocation, but it's also a passion with you.
And I think that's part of that is, 40-something years of marriage to somebody who uses a power chair. You get to learn a lot. And I probably have fixed many chairs over the years.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
So I get it from that personal perspective, and also the friendships that I've made over the years, knowing it from that basis as well, and then the professional through my work for many years at Mass Rehab Commission and the Executive Office of Health and Human Services. So this is a passion for me.
It is, and it's very apparent. And you run just an exceptional facility. And I hope we'll have you on again. And will you give us once more the website and once more perhaps the telephone number, so that they can call in if they have something to donate or if they have a need that perhaps you can fill.
Okay. So our website is www.dmereuse.org. You can email us at info@dmereuse.org, or you can call us at 1-800-261-9841.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. And thank you for joining us as well. We hope that we'll see you next week, same time, same place. This is Senator Harriet Chandler saying goodbye for now. Goodbye for Beacon Hill Chat until next week. Take care.